Hi people! Today I was going to tell you about my favorite inanimate object. And it's this beauty. She's my favorite. So, I did a whole video on her, on the restoration of her, on my old channel. I will link that video in the description. It is an hour long and it is subtitled, and use those subtitles because I do not want to tell you how long it took to subtitle. It took so long. Anyway, I will put some of the footage from that video in this video while I talk about it. So, this is a steamer trunk. She is maybe about 100 years old. There is nothing to identify her by. I thought I had a perfect way to say she's at least 100 years old by this note that a previous owner have tried to remove. It's one of those, when you shipped something, you would put a sticker on it to say where it was going, and this says Ristia, which I took to be the beginning of the word Christiania, which is what Oslo was called before they renamed the city Oslo. But after having looked at it some more and thought about it, it could be the beginning of Kristiansund or Kristiansand, which are also Norwegian cities. And I bought her in Kristiansand. Me and a friend, we drove for about 4 hours. The trip is supposed to take only 3, but it was so much snow that day. Like, yeah, so much snow. Anyway, before I start telling you how I restored this thing, I just want to come out to you and say that I know that a lot of people think that you shouldn't do anything about old things, but to that I want to say that this here was not a nice old thing. If you were to just throw her away, that would not be, that would actually be something that no one would fault you for, because it was in such a poor condition. The outside was kind of nice, but it had a lot of water damage. You can actually see some of it, some of the old water damage here. And the inside was, I think it has been on display, opened on display, because the inside was really faded and kind of, yeah, water damaged and sort of, I wouldn't say rotting, but it had the telltale sort of musty basement smell. And I had her open here for like weeks just to try and get that smell out. And the inside was faded and kind of, it wasn't moldy as such, but like, you know, those small black spots that you get on stuff sometimes, that's not really mold, just like, ugh. Before I even started working on her, I just kind of wanted to see how it would look like with it locked. And then I leaned on this and it just, smack, it was locked and I didn't have a key. And I scoured eBay. I looked up how to unpick it, how to pick it. Honestly, I did everything to try to open it, and at long last I found a key that is not, it's not the exact key, it's just the, because this is an everlasting lock and it has the code D64, and the key that I bought is a D63, which is almost exactly the same, and it opens it. So I'm just, yes. There was a lot of rust, especially on these metal parts. Had a lot of rust. There was some kind of veneer, or like some kind of layer of just some kind of, I don't know, some kind of shiny, this is supposed to look like brass paint, and then a layer of veneer over that. Wherever that had gotten like a scratch, there was rust, like everywhere. And that was especially on the bottom. It has these, I'm going to show you over here, these kind of corners in metal on every corner, and I quite aggressively got rid of that rust and the veneer, so it doesn't look like brass anymore. It just looks like metal. But I really like the look of it. And then I painted the corners. These corners are supposed to be, I don't know what material this is. It might be leather, it might be some kind of, I don't know what it is. Could be plastic, could be anything really. It also had a lot of scratches and it was pretty dull, so I basically painted it, just the corners, and I did nothing to the walls, the outside walls of the suitcase, wardrobe. So that's the outside, and the inside of the thing was, like I said, really dull and faded and water damaged, and really it was all a big mess, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? The inside is, there is fabric on the inside, and that was fading and ripping and just basically crumbling, and I could just pick it up and rip it out with my hands without even doing anything. And so I got a piece of fabric. I got a small piece of fabric from inside. We're going to open this now just to show you. Let's see. So I took a tiny piece of the curtain fabric that was here, and I went to the fabric store and I found the closest color that I could. And it's a bit too green. I had to choose between a bit too green and a bit too blue, and I chose a bit too green because I like that color better. And then this is awesome. I took some of that fabric with me to the paint store and asked them there if they had that color paint, and he was like, well, I could just scan this and blend a new color for you. And I was like, what? Is that even possible? Oh my god. And yeah, it's possible. They have this cool little scanning device thing that it's magic, and it's the exact same color, and I'm just amazed. And what else? Yeah, I ripped out all of the stuff that was here originally, and these are new handles. There was this honestly kind of cheap looking handles here that I just ripped out. and yeah, so I was thinking I would give you a tour of this, I call it my LARP suitcase. First of all, I mean, this obviously is a chest of drawers. Here it has 4 drawers, and then this is a curtain, and then you can open this up to do this, and then you flip this curtain over, and you have your hangers, and you can get this thing out. This is just painted. And then you can do this. Of course, you gotta get this. This side has been acting up. I don't know why. This is a small briefcase. I think you're supposed to have your shoes in here. My shoes are way too big for that because I mostly wear like you know, those high boots kind of things. And that suitcase had, the lid was buckling, so I just got a new lid and some new hinges for it. And in here are my skirts and dresses, and a few tops that go with the skirts and dresses. And these hangers are awesome. They are like, I think there is an empty one. Yeah. So the hangers, these are original hangers, of course. They look great because the inside of this side was way less faded than the outside. I think the curtain had been down, but the thing had been open on display. So the inside here was way less faded than the outside, and also the inside of the drawers were less faded than the outside. So I'm guessing they just had it on display sometime. Yeah, anyways, so the hangers were the things in here that was the least bit water damaged, and actually, I guess, in the best condition. And they just fit on these two rods like this, and I really like that. And you know, once you have opened these, you can really see what you got. So, and now the drawers, and I mean, yeah, skirts and dresses mostly. And what do I have back here? Yeah, I have my bustle just placed back here because it didn't fit anywhere else, and a parasol apparently. So yeah, and last time I went to a LARP, it's been a year. I am like desperate to LARP. Last time I went to LARP, I had this with me. I played this eccentric young French artist, and so she had this little briefcase. She had her palette, her brushes, and her paints in this. I don't think I spilled any inside of that. I spilled some on my shoes. Nope, nothing on the inside. So that's that. Let's just, to see in the drawers, I have to close up these drawers. Of course, I didn't have that key either, so I just took the entire drawer and went down to a locksmith and asked them if they could get me a key. And in the end, they could. They got this old-looking key that looked like it would fit with the drawer, and they filed it down to fit my lock. So that was, I really like that. So on the top here, I have, this used to be my great-grandmother's, by the way. I really like this one. Also, there's a mirror. The mirror is not exactly cracked, but it has this little piece that gone off. I kind of want to go get that fixed sometime. Just not sure how. So in this drawer I have, this is my LARP jewelry box. It has jewelry. And this is my LARP emergency sewing kit. It has just, you know, what does it have? It has safety pins, of course, some ribbon, small pair of snips and some threads and a sewing needle. So it's just a tiny little, and there are jewelry in this because I have more LARPing jewelry than I have normal jewelry. And of course it's all just fakeness. And some, yeah, this is just like my toiletry kind of drawer. And then this is my underwear drawer. I'm about to show you my underwear drawer. Now my normal corset is not in here at the moment, but I have drawers and chemises and petticoats and stuff. Yeah, I know there is a corset down here. I just don't like that corset that much. So I need to make underwear that is not just white, by the way. I need some green underwear. Or orange. Oh god, I want orange underwear. That would be so cool. And so this third drawer has my hats, or one of my hats. It's ridiculous. It has all of these little flowers on it. A few shirts that can be folded. My painter's apron, or Josephine's painter's apron. This right here is my nightgown. So that's that. And the last drawer, let's see if I can. And the last drawer that is not exactly empty at the moment. It has some shoes. It has 2 pairs of shoes and a set of bed linens. And that because I call this my meta drawer. I call that my meta drawer. It's the drawer that I will put my everyday clothes in, and like towels and bed linens and those kinds of things. So it's like just an extra drawer, honestly. And then I wanted to show you something cool, because you know I said how this side your stuff will not move when the curtain is down and stuff. Now, to do the same to the drawer side, what you do is you open this, or actually you take the entire thing out. And then there is this rod in here that you slide to the middle. And then all the drawers has this hook that now the drawers you can't open them now because the hook and the rod prevents them from that. And then the top drawer has this metal angle thing. So when you put this in, the rod will be here and the rod won't be able to open that way. So when you close this, I'm not going to. When you put this back in, none of the lower drawers will move anywhere, and then you lock the top drawer and none of this will open while you transport it and in the back of my car or something. So that's my LARPing wardrobe, suitcase, luggage, I don't know what to call it. So that's my favorite inanimate object. I hope you'll check out my video on that on my old channel. As I said, there is a link in the description. And I just sometimes I just gotta kind of stroke her to know that she's real, kind of. I know I sound insane. It's just I spent what? I spent like 6 or 7 months restoring her. So through everything. Like I worked full-time, which burnt me out. I had a depressive episode during that time, and like it was insane. Like seriously, it was insane. And the fact that I actually made it is like a testament to my something, my resourcefulness or my stubbornness or something. So it's that's kind of why it's my favorite, in addition to it being the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more sewing and other shenanigans from me, you could maybe subscribe. That would help me a lot, actually. And check out the video on the restoration on this. Yeah. Okay. That's it. I hope you like this approach. Bye. Oh, and something I forgot to tell you about. The top, the lid on this has these initials on it, and I'm like, I've been kind of tempted to just tell every game designer ever that my name needs to have the initials OF. Just, you know, because, but I'm not that crazy, I think.